Hello, everybody. It's Thursday, and we have the session on Pan-European Conference on Digital Education. There are three ladies with us today. Welcome, all of you. We also have some technical issues, but I hope we will soon be all ready and go. In the meanwhile, I will present the program for today. So here we are. So the first presentation will be Gamification in Education, provided by Marija Gaurina from the Faculty of Science in University of Split. So if she will solve the microphones issue, she will be the first. Otherwise, we will change and then she will be the second one. Then we will have two nice ladies from Poland. I'm sure that some of you already remember them. It's Beata and Kasia. They will present the results of the project, how to enhance student engagement with connected learning, a beautiful project that connects a lot of teachers and students and integrate them in intercultural groups. Then I think that we will not have two presentations, and I'm really sorry for that, because I'm just keep contacting two of the presenters who confirmed their presentations, but they just didn't show up. Can you imagine? But nevertheless, we won't miss the people who are not here. We will focus all our energy on the presenters and participants who are, and welcome all of you. As always, presentations are available in the Facebook group Pan-European Conference on Digital Education. You can search them, download them, and also follow during the presentation. Thank you very much. About the certificates of attendance, you have the link to the certificates in the video description. So you can click on the link, provide your details, name, surname, and email address. Be really precise, because if you make a mistake in the email address, then the certificate can't reach you. Okay, so shall we start? Okay. Beata and Kasia, welcome. Maybe say first a few words about yourself, and then you can start with your presentation.
Okay, Beata, go ahead. You have to unmute, yeah.
It's me today first. Okay. So my name is Beata Mirecka-Jakubowska. I'm a third culture kid turned third culture adult, and I've been in education for nearly 4 decades. I've been teaching English at international schools, and recently I've been working on several educational projects using IT tools. So you are going to hear a little bit more about one of our projects, and today's discussion for today is a very practical issue of how to enhance student engagement in learning. So we are going to tell you about the 3 key strategies for raising engagement for learning. A bit about myself. I have lived in Greece and in Indonesia and worked in those countries in international schools. And at the moment, I am an educational consultant in the company that I founded. So it's great to be here again. And Kasia?
Okay, hello, my name is Kasia. I'm an English teacher at the secondary school level. I've been teaching in a state school for over 20 years now. I also have some experience of working in some language schools, also at university, but that was pretty brief. These days, apart from teaching English, I participate in different international projects, such as the Connected Learning project we are going to talk about with Beata soon. By the way, I think it's one of the greatest that I've participated so far, with lots of potential, and you will find out yourself in a moment. I also train teachers. I participate in different conferences. I write articles. I think I'm, like, as they say, a lifelong learner myself, and I'm really happy to be here with you today. So I guess we can start. Yes. Okay.
Am I able to share my screen? Am I sharing the screen?
Okay, we will wait so that your screen appears. In the meanwhile, the certificate of attendance, the link is in the comments. So if you don't find it under the video description, check there. Okay.
For some reason, I am unable to share this particular screen where I have my
But if you want, I can try to share our presentation as well, because I also
okay.
Yeah, okay. I will
have you got it open? All right, go ahead then, because for some reason
I will see if I can do that. Okay, share screen.
And the participants, you have the possibility to ask questions. In order to ask a question to our presenter, just type the question in the comments. After their presentation, I will ask them whatever you are interested in.
Okay, so have I shared the presentation successfully?
Yes,
Yes?
Yes, my dear. Here it is.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Okay, so right. So, well, as you already know, the title of our project is Connected Learning, and you can see it here. Again, this is Beata. This is yes, and we have already introduced ourselves. So let's just skip this part and let's move to the most important thing. So, Beata, over to you.
Okay, so basically, what we want to start off with is the fact that I guess the idea of the what is the problem? What are the peripheral issues that affect the level of engagement of today's students in their engagement in their own learning? And one of the ideas, of course, is the fact that the curricula in many countries are overloaded with information that may be a little bit outdated and in need of pruning, which of course takes time, and especially when we are in state schools where we have to follow a certain curriculum that is a state curriculum, then we have, it takes a long time to actually make those changes. Some of the ministries in some countries are already making those changes, but it is going to take time. Meanwhile, of course, as we know, technology is moving forward, and this is something that we need to be able to do. The material that is delivered in an uninteresting way is also another issue that affects the level of engagement and demotivates rather than engages. Meanwhile, we have the digital job market, and that is a market that requires adaptability, flexibility, 21st century skills, the skills that students will always need and are essential at this moment. Our project is aiming at students learning English and classes for English in the high school, but it can also be adapted to middle school students as well. So we think that the transfer of those skills across other school subjects is also going to be happening. It's going to be essential. And these skills that students learn, in an innovative language class will transfer to other subjects and later can be applied in life situations as well. So we really believe that the engagement that the students will have in our classes through this project is going to be phenomenal. Kasia.
Mm-hmm. All right. So why is then engagement such an important issue? Well, if we want the learning process to be really successful, we cannot disregard the scientific research which says that only a personal engagement based on inner motivation is something that facilitates that learning very, very well. So we definitely want our students to become independent, conscious learning, and this can be achieved through in the following way. The students should understand and know the skills that they need for their own successful life. Secondly, they need to know the concept of self-motivation, self-control, and engagement in the learning process. And finally, hopefully, they will buy into the innovative way of learning that our connected learning project proposes. Okay, Beata.
So you heard about the what and you heard about the why, and we can now talk about the how. And the how, we believe, is the collaborative way, the learning through international cooperation of the students. And you may already know this maybe practice project-based or inquiry-based learning, or you may already be using group and pair work in your own classes. Connected learning proposes to take that learning even further, connecting students across classrooms, even in the same school. You can do this, across classrooms in the same school. But of course, you also can connect across schools, across countries, across even continents. It may seem like twinning, and it is similar, but the extent of the learning that happens for both the teachers and the students through the connected learning project that we propose, it's actually enormous. So we can explore this a little bit further. Okay. Now, just a few words maybe about the original educational endeavor and the engagement issues that I was having while I was teaching at Jakarta International School, or rather not having them, because I always thought that trying to find ways to engage my students so that their learning would happen almost without their knowing it. That was something very important to me, and I think that many of you can identify that in your own thinking as well. So it wasn't this kind of play learning, but authentic, really joyful learning. And I noticed that early in my career that students love working together and learning together. So when the technology came around and the tech tools allowed this to happen, not just inside your classroom, but outside as well, I created this educational endeavor about 6 years ago that was called Connect to Learn. And I wanted to enable my IB English B students to learn English with other students from other parts of the world. Mainly also because many of my colleagues had very monolingual classes. And learning English and, even the group work and the pair work that they were doing, it was just, the same nationality, working together in English. So, in order to break through that monotony, I created this online portal with thematic units, which connected the IB English B classes from different countries. And we had 11 iterations of this collaboration with schools from 4 continents. So that was really amazing. And the benefits were absolutely phenomenal. One of them was the level of engagement in the material and the tasks and even the assessments. That was really amazing. It was a breakthrough, and many IB English B teachers from many countries took advantage of this opportunity for the 2 years that I ran this experiment. And this I brought into the project that we are now promoting. Another thing that was really very interesting was that many teachers were often having difficulty participating in such connections because they say that they don't have time. They've got a curriculum to run. They've got, things to cover. That's the overload, perhaps, that some countries may have in their curricula. And, that's understandable. And that is why, for the purpose of that project, the units were based on the prescribed IB English B curriculum. And now in the project that we're presenting right now, it is also curriculum based, and the thematic units probably will be able to fit in just about any class that is teaching language, the English language. So that's something that is an important element in our current project: the level of engagement and the thematic units that will probably fit everybody's classes and everybody's curriculum and syllabus. Kasia?
Yes, I can only say that what Beata has just said is absolutely right, because as I said before, I teach in a state school, and you can use bits and pieces of these modules of lessons, no matter your curriculum and so on. So now you can see the website of our project, and it started in April 2022, and it will be running until April 2024. After this time, all the intellectual output that we will create during this time will be available for everyone for free, so you can implement this connected learning methodology in your classes freely. The major idea here is to provide teachers with innovative ways of engaging their student in learning the English language in a collaborative way, using online tech tools, and also in the process, of course, the students will be learning a number of 21st century skills and competences. Go on the Yes, on this website, you will also find out about our partners, you can view the reports, the films from our meetings so far. Yeah, this is the last one, by the way, in Katowice. It was really great, I have to say, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, okay, and yes, so here is some information about the intellectual outputs that is planned for this project. Okay, and let's move on to the next slide. And now we will take you on a short tour around one of our collaborative modules that is already finished. By the way, there are 2 modules that have been finished so far. 4 are being prepared right now, and they will be ready by mid-August. And there will be 8 thematic modules all together. And this is like a screenshot from one of them. So let's go to the food unit, and let's listen to Beata here.
So the food unit contains 8 lessons. The magic ingredient is the first 2 lessons. Let's find out more, lesson number 3. Extraordinary foods of the future, lesson 4 and 5. And lesson 6, 7, and 8, your move. Here you have a possibility of an IB English B extension, and here at the bottom you can see the 21st century skills and life skills that are taught or mentioned or touched upon in the lesson, in the module. And you can see over here the links to the reflection survey for the food lessons, both for the students and for the teachers as well. Okay, when we enter the first lesson, we can see that it is planned for 2 45-minute lessons, more or less. Sometimes it may be less, sometimes it may be more. The aims and objectives and the procedure are written very clearly. What you also have is guiding questions for the students. There are some examples of videos because the first task is to create a video, and there are, of course, some tips for the shy students or students who have never done recordings before. There are also transferable skills that are being practiced in this class, and you can also see what communication skills the students will be practicing in this lesson. There isn't much collaboration in this lesson yet, but it is coming later on. And of course, you can also try to use the metacognition questions and have the students do a little bit of reflection on their own learning. So that's lesson number 1 and 2. In lesson number 3, the procedures continue from lesson 1 and 2. There are again some guiding questions and transferable skills. Lesson 4 and 5 takes the students on a different path with some vocabulary and reading comprehension practice, working together with a partner, using a rubric to evaluate an article's reliability, and there is also choice of classroom work and individual work for you as the teacher to decide how you wish to proceed with this lesson. In the final 3 lessons of this module, you will find the true level of collaboration. This is where the cross-cultural, cross-school, or cross-class teams may be working together, creating a shared Google Doc or a Padlet for their group, and working together to create a product together. There are success criteria and again, transferable skills. And at the end, you again have the link to the reflection and evaluation, which you saw at the beginning.
Okay, so now let me summarize the potential of engaging your learners from the perspective of a student, because Beata has been talking about the perspective of a teacher before, so I will focus on the students more. So I think that there are at least 6-7 like ways and explanations why your students might be effectively engaged. The first thing is using digital tools, which as everyone knows is something that young people really like and are really good at. The second thing is the fact that very often in our modules, in our lessons, we provide students with a choice of tasks and also of those digital tools. So they are not like forced to do only one, they have a choice. To a large extent, all of these lessons in the modules are actually self-paced. Of course, there is a teacher who kind of coordinates and provides feedback, which is normal, but still they are free to work at their own pace. The very fact that they have to work in teams is also something that young people enjoy a lot. And also that they have to make joint decisions. The tasks themselves are based on up-to-date internet resources, which makes those tasks quite meaningful to young people and interesting. And of course, the intercultural element that also fosters engagement. Of course, they can get to know other cultures, they can discover differences, but also similarities, which I personally think is very attractive to them as well. I very often see my students very often enjoying the fact that, for example, regardless the culture they come from, they still enjoy the kind of movies or the same kind of movies or the same kind of music. So this is something that they really like. And the idea of exchanging views, opinions, information with other teams from all over the world is definitely something that engages the students and provides the opportunity to experience authentic communication. Okay, so now I will change the slide and we invite you to see a movie with us.
We cannot continue educate our students for our past.
The responsibility of the students' education goes more towards them, and we are not the knowledge bank anymore.
It's the toolbox that's necessary for both the teacher and the student, I would say.
So it's self-paced and self-managed. For something new in technology, and I knew we had to do something different from the old habits.
If I was able to do it, you will be able to do it too.
This is my 10th year and I love it. I know. I've been doing this in my own classes for many years.
Technology in the class should simply support students in completing their tasks.
You can learn from every situation and deliver a much better lesson next time.
Right, so that was, of course, the trailer to the webinar that will have the premiere very, very soon on the 13th of June. And this is actually an important event and a big opportunity also for you as teachers to learn about the project, to expand your, to develop your skills. And I'm talking about this free professional development event that will take place on the 13th of June this year between 4 and 8 p.m. And you can, you can see the barcode here, so please don't hesitate to use it and join us for this wonderful, wonderful event. During the event, apart from getting some knowledge, finding out more about the project itself, you can also get some goodies from, for example, from Edpuzzle, which is our sponsor here, and other surprises. So don't hesitate, please do join us. It will be great. Thank you. Now over to Beata.
So this is also an invitation to connect with us on Facebook, because on that Facebook group there are various teachers already. We'd like to invite you to this next collaborative learning opportunity to connect students and learn together, starting in August and September. And it would be best if you or your English teachers, if you're not the English teachers and listening to this presentation today, please tell your colleagues to sign up for this Facebook group to basically familiarize themselves with the materials and the proceedings, and to set up the multicultural groups of students to collaborate on the tasks. So far, during the testing phases of the first 2 units, we had collaboration among students from Poland and Iceland and students from Jakarta, Indonesia, Jakarta Intercultural School. They joined the learning of the connected learning, and they were students from Japan, Korea, and Indonesia. At the moment, we also have teachers from Uganda, Kenya, Indonesia, Guatemala on that Facebook group, and they are waiting to connect with the European schools and European teachers and provide that extra intercultural atmosphere to the collaboration of the students and the teachers as well. So this is an opportunity to collaborate, and it can also serve as a wonderful and very free professional development opportunity for the teachers as well, because both the Facebook group and the modules, they include a lot of practical tips for teachers to use in their classes. So you'll be able to help your students practice a variety of skills, the soft skills, 21st century skills, whatever, the nomenclature you use. And of course, the competencies that they are going to be needing in the digital world, in the next 5-10 years when they join the workforce, doing jobs that we don't know, exist yet, and that haven't been invented yet, and they're going to be inventing their own jobs, perhaps. So this is something that is definitely going to be able to help them. So please join us with that, QR code, or you have the short URL link, and that is fantastic. Okay, and I see that Didona has just joined that group. Excellent, thank you very much. All right, so looking forward to meeting new people in the group very soon.
Yes, indeed. So I believe that this is more or less all from us at this stage. If Blanca lets us answer any questions now or later, we will gladly answer your questions. So put them into the chat, and welcome to the Connected Learning community. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We expect students to learn English, but they actually live in monolingual classes, right? How strange. Of course, we need to create opportunities for them to learn. So really, really wonderful. Congratulations on this project. Also, as you can see, Claudia agrees with you. They can even understand different educational system.
That's right.
In different countries, which is also very important. Kasia, I have one small request. Can you maybe provide the links so that I can put them in chat, because some of the participants asking for them, and it's easier for them if they are on the computer just to click, then use the phone.
No problem. I will paste the link into the chat. Okay.
Okay. So I have one question also. How many teachers do you usually connect into one group? So teachers with students.
In the past, we have been able to connect anywhere between 2 and 6 teachers. So the students from 6 different classes would be mixed into groups. So, you know, as you saw with the food unit, the actual collaboration kind of begins with the first task of making a video, so like a little introductory video, and making a little bit of a connection there. But the true collaboration happens a little bit later. Of course, every module is going to be different. Every topic is going to be different. We are working on 4 modules that are you know, being prepared right now, and we are incorporating some of the newest technology that is happening with the, you know, ChatGPT and you know, new technologies that students will be, you know, will have to grapple with pretty soon, or already are using perhaps. As far as putting together groups, it basically depends on who wants to participate at a given time. In the duration, you know, of the project, we will schedule these 2-week collaborative sessions, and people will be able to sign up for them and maybe, you know, choose different modules, because we will now have more than just 2. We will be able to put maybe 2 teachers, you know, on one module, or 3, depending on who signs up for that particular collaborative session, and how many in fact want to use one unit, or, you know, it depends on the curricula as well. At this point, we had food and culture, and we were testing it. But you know, for example, in the past, when I was using the Connect to Learn website, I had 3 modules and 3 thematic units that were, you know, kind of structured into the IB curriculum. So I kind of knew that the culture unit would be starting in October, and more you know, teachers would sign up then. But for example, the travel unit would be in you know, would be better in March. And you know, if we offered the travel unit in September, maybe not. You know, some people might not want to join it right now. So there's a lot of choice that is going to be available, and depending on how many people sign up and how many people want to connect their classes, figure it out. And it could be 2, but it could be, you know, 4 or 5, and mixing up those students. Okay, it was a little long-winded, but
no, that was so great. Yeah, because I was asking myself during your explanation, so how to, you know, balance different curricula, then different schedules, then different time zones. But you made it obviously really with a lot of choice, also with self-paced material. So just wonderful.
Right. It's the units are for meant to be maybe 2.5 weeks long. So what that means, yes, it is Didona. Yes, it is a platform, but you know, from which you basically take the materials, and your students and the teachers can work off of it. Okay. The Facebook group has a link to an Excel document where the student names, and, you know, teachers have access to it, and you know, the names of the students would show up over there, and you know, Kasia and I moderate that group, and we look at the sign-ups. and try to make some groups. Okay, so far we've had 180 students. Not at the same time. I think they, at one time we had 118 for two modules. So we had 6 groups of about 8 or 9 students from 4 countries. So that worked out really very well because the collaboration was challenging. Okay, it's not easy for the students, especially the first time, which basically means that you do have to kind of plan. Okay, I'm going to do maybe one unit in September. Try it out. If you like it, we guarantee you are going to like it. Then you will perhaps pair up with somebody else at a different time, and you will be able to get your students through another unit like that. And believe me, I think Kasia can testify to that. The second time around, the students already know what to do, how to go about it, and it really works very well, and it's much faster the second time because they know what to do. Kasia, can you please add to anything on the classroom management?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my students didn't really have much problems because they are actually kind of used to this kind of methods. So it's
nomads, and they can adapt quickly.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth. But we also provide some ideas of how to introduce your students to this kind of learning, how to talk to them, what kind of questions ask, and so on. So there is some advice along the way. Well, I don't know. I just for me, it's brilliant. I mean, they they are so technology savvy that they almost have no problems really with this. So yeah. What else I can say? I love it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. We move forward now. It was lovely to have you here, and good luck with the webinar and also with the whole project. As you saw, some of our participants just signed up.
Yes, super.
So now, welcome, Marija. Hello.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from Croatia.
So we
thank you
for right.
Yes, I have managed this technology, so I'm here in full. I have my presentation.
And
yes, I have my presentation.
Great. So now, just tell me, will you share also?
I will share. I will share.
Okay.
I will share because it is easier to present when I'm sharing. When you share, I need to say next slide, please.
Has the presentation gamification in education. She works in a university at Split. Will you tell a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm Marija Gaurina, and I am professor of physics and computer sciences, and I'm also PhD student on University of Split. So I'm working in different ways with small students, big students, with everyone. I can say it. So I came from Croatia, and the field of interest of my research is gamification, mental maps, and different representations of STEM education. So it is mainly physics that I'm interested in, but I can speak about STEM overall, so it is no problem for me. And today I will present you the research we have done on University of Split with students of secondary school in Croatia. So it is vocational school. It is very interesting school because it's mainly male students. We have only 2-3 girls. So it is interesting. It is interesting what we have done, and I will show you the basis of this research we have done by literature review. So you will see what is already done in the field of gamification when you are interested in physics. And after that, I will speak about what we are planning to do with these students of mine and what are next steps in STEM education. So I think it will be very interesting for you. I don't know in which field you are educating
The fields. Yeah, here are
educating your
teachers
students,
of
but
different subjects and different levels of education.
so Blanca, I need to say that gamification is not only for STEM education. So if you are not STEM teacher, it's no matter. It is, you can use it in your classrooms. So if you are grading your students, you are gamifying your classroom. So we are gamifying, and we do not know that we are gamifying. So I will share my presentation now. I will present what we have already done, what we are preparing to do, and I'm expecting your questions, and I hope I will have the answers on them. So please just can you, Blanca, say when you see my presentation?
Of course.
Okay, I will say just a second. Okay, yes. I think it's coming, so please.
Yeah. Okay. It usually needs some time to come here, but it will be. Otherwise, okay. Also, I'm ready for sharing.
It's no problem. I'm ready. It's no problem. So
yeah. I know.
Yes, it's going. It's a little bit of network, I think, that is troubling me. So just a second. I'll see what can I do once more. So if I don't do it, okay. Do you see it? Maybe
at the moment, not.
Not yet. Okay, because it is. Okay, Blanca, I'll ask you please to share it with me because I have something. Okay, thank you. Okay, as you can see, thank you, Blanca. You are saver. So as you can see, the topic of my presentation is gamification in education. So when we spoke with students, we noticed that they have difficulties in learning physics concepts, and we call these difficulties like preconceived ideas, or in the past it was identified as misconceptions. Now we speak about them as alternative conceptions, or they have their mental models that they are sure that it is okay, but it is not. So these intuitive beliefs of students about physical phenomena are derived from inadequately understood everyday experiences. So they do not understand physical concepts, but they are not tabula rasa. So they have something in their mind what they need to think, or what they think that it is correct. So Blanca, please, next slide. And when you speak about gamification and its elements, you can define it as the use of game elements in a non-gaming context. And the main idea of using gamification in education is using game strategies, game mechanics, and aesthetics to motivate and engage participants. And we need to integrate into learning process these strategies, mechanics, and aesthetics through the traditional elements, and you can defer these elements as badges, points, rankings, levels, and rewards. And you are already doing it. You are rewarding them, and you are giving them grades A, B, C, D, or I don't know what you are giving them. So we are going to give them in Croatia 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they know who is the best, and they have rankings, and they know who has an A and who has a D. So you are gamifying. And for research of gamification, we use three frameworks, as you can see, that systemize elements of gamification. And we used Fu Hun's 5 basic principles, and he is speaking about Octolysis frame. I will not speak today about Octolysis frame. Maybe I can some other time, and how we use it in our research. We used 7 categories of Jane McGonigal, and you can find it in her book Super Better. And we use choose Octolysis, as I mentioned before, and it's 8 core drives. So these are frameworks that we used when we were implementing gamification in education. I said previously that we were working with students of secondary school. This is vocational school in Croatia. Please, next slide. And the first research that we did, the aim of this research was to conduct a systematic review of studies that have developed a methodology of gamification in physics education. So I'm interested in physics. I said it before, it is no problem to introduce gamification in any educational process, in any part of STEM or other arts, languages, or other parts of educational process. So we have developed a methodology of developed a methodology of gamification in physics education, and we find the purpose. We have found the purpose for this research to see these 3 questions that you have saw here. What is the time distribution of studies investigated the application of gamification in physics education? What are the most commonly used elements of gamification in selected studies? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of the application of gamification in selected studies? So can we move on, please? Thank you. Our review of the published articles was guided by the PRISMA protocol and recommendations for the systematic literature review. And we searched 2 large databases of scientific materials. It was Web of Science and Scopus. And we analyzed all available materials in both databases, which means articles published from 1950 to 2021. So we did this research in 2021, so it is short for today, but it is from 1950, and we haven't found any older scientific material dating earlier than 2011, I think. And this is the one field that is not researched yet. The selected documents applicable for our review were defined in advance, and there were following criteria and exclusion sequence. You can see it here. We had 4 criterion regarding language, regarding the format, regarding the research area, and regarding the research questions. So can we move on, please? And here are the results. This is very interesting for us. You can see that we were dealing with only 7 scientific materials, articles that are reviewed and that are in Scopus or WOS. And in this table of content, you can see author. Okay, here you cannot see author. I can share with you the literature that we were through. Here you can see educational level, and you can see the year, and you can see gamification elements and result. If it is plus, it is positive, and if it is minus, it is negative result regarding of motivation and the students' understanding of concepts of physics. So you can see that the most of the research materials we have found was for the university level, and only 2 were for high school level, and 1 was for graduated teachers. So for us, I can say it like this. And these are all, as you can see, modern research papers that are dating from 2019 and 2020 and 2021. The results suggest that gamification can and does have significant positive effects on students' motivation, engagement, and academic success. And however, you can see it also here, it is insufficiently researched, and strategy in general, as a strategy in general, and especially at the primary and secondary education level. So it is not the strategy that we are used to use, and it is showing significantly positive effects, and we are not using it. We are only grading students' knowledge. We are not using these other elements of gamification. And if you see the elements that are used in this scientific materials and are proposed to teachers to use, are rank, points, narrative, timer, badges, certificates, and so on. So if you are not using it, you can try. You have already done already made one platform. I have used it, and it's called Classcraft, and it is, as you can hear the name, it is very similar to Warcraft, Minecraft. So it is a surround for students that in which they can see their points and ranking, and they have this avatar, and it's making progress as they are collecting points and as they are making through their educational process. So it is very nice surrounding or gamificational platform that you can use for free, not all of elements of Classcraft, but the most of elements. And I can say my students they were satisfied, they were top, they were motivated when we were using this platform. So can we move on, please? And these are the I always say, for conclusion, this is not conclusion, this is all mainly introduction in gamification. As you can see, it is a modern strategy, and it is not research, and it is not implemented on the way it is needed to be implemented in our educational system. And my colleague said once, well, I don't want to use technology. I don't want to gamify my education. I don't want to change anything. Why would I would like to gamify my education, my classroom? Why? So I said, okay, you don't need to, and you will have you already gamified it. I said it before. But you don't need to introduce anything else. You don't need rankings, you don't need badges, you don't need anything else. But if you would like to look what you can do with gamification, I think that it could be a trigger for you to motivate your students to on one different way. I'm learning physics, I'm teaching physics, I am physics teacher. So the physics is boring and abstract, and I needed to find a motto, something, recipe for engage my students, for make them motivated to learn physics. From my point of view, there is no need motivation. You don't need motivation to learn physics. Physics is all around us. But if you motivate them on different way, you will have your results. So for this conclusion, I won't say conclude it for all. For this conclusion, gamification elements can be implemented as triggers of motivation, engagement, and academic success of physics learners. The concept of gamification is frequently, I need to say this, mistaken for the notation of GBL and serious games. And to maximize the positive aspects of each of these different activities, they should be clearly delineated in educational practice and research. So GBL is game-based learning, and if you try to compare with gamification, you will see that you are using game elements in your classroom. You are not changing anything. You are just introducing letterboard. You can write it on the green board with chalk. You don't need to take technology into your classroom. And if you are going to use GBL, game-based learning, and then you need technology, you need to enter the world of Minecraft, and you need to build something, and this is GBL. You are surrounded with elements of game. You are in the game, and this is the very important difference between gamification and GBL. And on the third part, there are serious games like simulators of ride and the virtual reality that is needed to be delineated from these two before. So gamification elements have a great promise in guiding the development of new physics education strategies, and I don't mean only on physics, I mean on education in global, and for teachers and for curriculum developers. I think that we need to introduce these elements so we can raise collaboration between students. You can make them in groups or in pairs, and this is very, very important. And optimizing the best gamification practices is a broad area of possible new advancements and then charted new frontier for the physics educational research community. I think this is a big field of non-researched area that is needed to be explored and introduced in elementary and high schools. So next, please, Blanca. Thank you. So thank you for listening. For me, I had a little bit of these technical problems, but we all have. And if you have any questions, you have seen the mail. Blanca can share it with you, and I will be happy to answer the questions and also to collaborate with you if you have any questions from the field of gamifications and also STEM education. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Marija. I'm really interested in, you mentioned before Jane McGonigal categories. I know her from the mental health gamification, but I didn't know that you also use it in STEM teaching and everywhere. So can you maybe share with the participants what are her categories? At least approximately,
of gamification.
Yeah, you mentioned before, the categories of Jane McGonigal.
Yes, of course, these are frameworks. These are not categories of gamification. So I can share with you, I will give you, you can find it, of course, on the internet. Jane McGonigal, you have it in PDF format, super better. So you have several core drives, I could call it, because in Octalysis we call them core drives that are basically drive our motivation parts of the brain. So we want to learn something new because we are expecting something new, and we don't know what it is. And as you if you ever played Farmville or I don't know, Merge Mansion, or some game on Facebook or on application store, if you have installed it on your mobile phone, why are you playing? Why are you using these games? Why are you using your time for playing these games? You don't have anything from it. You are playing because you want to play. You are motivated to play. And what are they asking from you? Nothing. They are opening another level, and you are interested. You are expecting something. So this is one from 8, 10 core drives that are included in these frameworks. You cannot describe these frameworks in one sentence. You need to investigate these frameworks. So you have Octolyzes, and it is huge framework, and you have 2 or 3 books about Octolyzes and motivation. You have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So we can speak about this topics also, and what is the trigger of which motivation. So it is a huge field that we can speak more on more conferences, Blanca.
Okay. So the point is that you make the learning irresistible for students, right?
Yes, and you are trying to make Farmville. You will laugh. You are trying
your physics class.
Yes, you are trying to make Farmville or Merge Mansion or I don't know, Fortnite from your classroom. You want them. Why are they writing homeworks? Why? What are you expecting? They will not write homework. You are giving them minus, and they are used to it, and they will have not A, they will have C, but it's okay. When they are in high school, C is okay. But if you have another motivation, if you have trigger to waken up another motivation, intrinsic or extrinsic, or it's not problem at all what motivation, you will have Farmville, and they will learn physics 3 hours a day, and they will not learn it 2 minutes or listening only to you. And this is very important in the gamification. So maybe you will not succeed that they know more about concept of physics, but they will be motivated to learn physics, and this is a good step for something next.
Okay, so thank you very much, Maria. I wish you a very good success in your further studies and work with students. And thank you for sharing. I hope you will share the future results with us.
Yes, without technical problems. I hope so. Thank you.
We have to solve it. So
yes, we have resolved it.
Okay,
thank you, Blanca. Thank you all. And if you need something, anything, you can mail me. I will answer it. Thank you.
Okay, the next Pan-European conference is in the end of June, just before the summer holidays. So 29th of June, you can make your reservation, your booking at the erasmus+courses.com. Very welcome. Also, please do evaluate the conference, because that's how we get better, and that's how we investigate also your learning needs. So what do you want to hear from the conference? Thank you very much. Have a good day, and of course, happy teaching. And then the summer follows. Bye.